So there's an enormous amount of fields today that are generating enormous amounts of knowledge to the point where we're going to double the amount of data generated by the entire human species. Every book, every poem, every photograph, every film, we're going to double that over the next 5 years. And one of the areas that's moving the fastest in this is life sciences. So life sciences has several components. Biotech is one, genomics is another, proteomics is another. It's not really what they call the thing. What you really have to understand is it's the ability to read and write life code that's going to generate most of the wealth generated over the next 30 years. And to give you an example, that in the 1970s, if I told you ones and zeros and the ability to manipulate ones and zeros is going to be the largest single driver of the global economy and it's going to change every business, most people in the 70s would have thought you were crazy. But of course, that's the rise not just of Microsoft and Hewlett-Packard and eBay and YouTube and Google and Groupon. It's also the rise of entire regions and countries like Bangalore or Taiwan or Silicon Valley or Cambridge, Mass, or Malaysia, Taiwan. It's so many different changes in so many different places as ones and zeros begin to modify how we make our cars, how we operate them, how we open hotel rooms, how we read our magazines, how we take photographs, how we communicate with our parents, how we do everything else, and that generates an enormous amount of rapid economic growth. To give you an idea of the order of magnitude, about 0.02% of the US economy is invested in venture capital-backed companies. It's 11% of US jobs and 21% of the entire US economy. What's beginning to happen today is we're beginning to transition from digital code into life code. So the reason why this is important is because this is a software that generates its own hardware. No matter how you program a computer today, ones and zeros will not give you 1,000 computers when you come down tomorrow. But life code does. Life code allows us to take a single cell, program it from scratch, and we did that in one of the companies that I co-founded, Synthetic Genomics. What we did with Craig Venter, who sequenced the human genome, with Hamilton Smith, who won the Nobel for restriction enzymes, is to program a cell from scratch and turn one species into a completely different species. The clients for this kinds of things are companies like ExxonMobil that wants to make fuel out of algae, British Petroleum that wants to make gas out of coal, Novartis that wants to make vaccines out of cells, companies that are in agriculture that want to modify seeds or plants, and you can begin to make almost any product that's an organic product, whether it's a medicine or a fuel or a lubricant or a chemical or a textile or even a computer that solves Sudoku puzzles out of life code. And this, I think, is going to be the biggest single driver of the global economy going forward. It's already 40% of DuPont's earnings. It's about 14% of General Electric's earnings by the time you take healthcare and life sciences. It's a larger driver at IBM, at Google, at Intel, at Microsoft. And I think as this expands, it's an enormous business opportunity for those who train their kids, for those who understand the impact of this on their companies, and it's going to be the biggest single driver of the global economy.